This is Evening News for Saturday, February 22, 2014. I'm Samuel Suknandan. Thanks for joining us. Making the headlines tonight. CFTF says APNU amendments non-compliant with international standards. GTU says more training needed to combat school gangs. Health Ministry to adopt regional nursing standard. Mother pleads for missing daughter's return. And scores flock Georgetown for last-minute shopping for MASH 2014. And now for the news in detail. A Caribbean Financial Task Force official who visited Ghana to inspect the progress on the anti-money laundering bill has said that the amendments recommended by a Partnership for National Unity are in fact non-compliant with international standards. Here are the details. The Partnership for National Unity APNU proposed amendments to the Anti-Money Laundering and Countering the Financing of Terrorism Act can put Ghana in a danger zone. Caribbean Financial Action Task Force CFTF financial advisor Roger Hernandez told journalists on Friday night.
My concern with that is that the CFTF, as I said, cannot get involved directly in the legislative process. I was able to make known not so much my opinion but observations with regards to certain concerns arising out of some of these amendments.
Well, those are the concerns I would like you to just explain.
Right. All I pointed out was that there are two perils going forward with amendments put forward. One of them, A, some of the amendments that have been put forward deal with previous areas of the Act that were deemed compliant. The concern that we have is that the amendments being put forward may make those areas that were formerly compliant non-compliant. There is a risk.
Hernandez met with the members of the Anti-Money Laundering Parliamentary Special Select Committee to address concerns expressed by the APNU and the People's Progressive Party on the contentious bill. The PPP members had expressed concern about APNU's proposed amendments, which had sought to limit the powers of the ministers in the discharge of their duties as mandated by the proposed AML bill.
I would not go into details as to which specific recommendations because, as I said, we want to remain we are independent of the process. These are just considerations. They do not mean that, from the point of view of the recommendations, we recommend that they be put in place or they not be put in place. We just made observations as to some of the circumstances or some of the conditions that should be looked at in going forward and considering these amendments. That's all.
It was further stated that individual countries would call on their financial institutions to implement stricter requirements for the opening of accounts and conducting transactions. Additionally, accessing international funds can become extremely challenging. The anti-money laundering bill is to be passed before the month of May. Leader of the opposition, David Granger, had previously expressed hope that a bill would be tabled in Parliament this month. For the Evening News, I'm Samuel Suknandan. General Secretary of the Ghana Teachers Union, Coretta MacDonald, says more work is needed to fight gangs in schools. Here are the details in this report.
General Secretary of the Ghana Teachers Union, Coretta MacDonald, says that more training is needed to combat gang violence in Guyana's school system.
The issue of gangs, most of them emanate from our society. And so it means that we have quite a lot of work to do. And which means that, yes, it's going to cost us a great lot, but we've got to start from some point. And so it means that we've got to start having more and more and more training done with our students, with our parents, with our teachers, and society at large. We've got to start educating our people on the dangers of having gangs.
She noted too that teachers now need more protection since students carry weapons in their backpacks, and to have teachers pursue the backpacks of students each day is not only time-consuming but a waste of human resources.
Teachers are now at risk when they have to be dealing with students. Students have in their bags knives, scissors, ice picks, all sorts of equipment that can inflict wounds to each other. Those are what children walk with in their bags. How are we to deal with those? Teachers can't spend all day moving from classroom to classroom emptying children's bag. This has got to be happening in the homes.
In recent weeks, there has been an increase in the occurrence of gang-related incidents in schools across the country. Officials, however, have since registered their concerns with regards to this issue. Reporting for the Evening News, I'm Gabriella Patram.
There are serious consideration being given to have Guyana adopt its nurse training facilities and examinations to meet its standard regional requirement, Chief Medical Officer Dr. Shamdir Prasad said. He made the disclosure at the conclusion of a 3-day meeting recently held by the regional nursing body, RNB. On Thursday, the RNB members paid a courtesy call on President Donald Ramotar at the office of the President in the company of Health Minister Dr. Barry Ramsran and the Chief Medical Officer. The CARICOM-based group comprised of chief medical nurses who are executives of the RNB from regional territories and recently met at the CARICOM headquarters to discuss the measures needed for the proposed move to have locally trained nurses trained and prepared to a regional standard. According to Dr. Prasad, these measures include the building of capacity in terms of trainers, accreditation for training schools, facilities, and teaching curricula. Once these measures are implemented, the Ghana nursing examination will be adopted to suit the requirements of the regional standards. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health today launched its adolescent-friendly services on its youth-friendly department. More from Gomati Gankadin.
The Sophia Health Center today came alive with the launch of the adolescent-friendly services by Dr. Barry Ramsran and coordinator of the youth-friendly department, Dr. Ertunisa Hamilton. Dr. Ramsran stated that one of the program's main objectives is to provide guidance and support to young women in order to reduce teenage pregnancies. He also noted that the ministry will be advocating for girls to remain in schools in order to foster a higher education.
The Adolescent Department of Ministry of Health have started doing work within communities in order to make all of our health centers adolescent friendly or youth friendly. And any health center being adolescent friendly means any young person can come into our center and access information and services. And the services range from counseling, you can have information on sex, which we know that a lot of young people are very interested in. We don't just want you to think it and act without having information. We want to be the ones who you can come to, who can provide that to you.
Assistant Country Representative of the United Nations Population Fund, Patrice Lafleur, a main sponsor of the program, noted that the organization is pleased to be on board with the Ministry of Health in the development of services for youths.
The United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, applauds the efforts of the Ministry of Health to galvanize action to ensure that adolescents and young people are able to access a comprehensive package of information and services, including in the area of sexual and reproductive health, in a non-threatening, friendly, and enabling safe environment at health centers.
The launch saw a huge turnout of residents, particularly interested youths, who were eager to access the services offered. Some of the services offered were voluntary counseling and testing, girls and guys health talks, sexual reproductive health talks, and educational materials, body mass index checks, among others. The program is expected to expand countrywide in coming months. Reporting for the Evening News, I am Gomati Gangadin.
The Rotary Club of Demerara on Friday unveiled its Gift of Life program billboard at the Georgetown Public Hospital compound. More from Leroy Bedlow.
The The program is said to have facilitated thousands of children under the age of 18 with various heart conditions to have access to medical care outside Guyana. This newscast, in an exclusive interview with the Vice President of the Rotary Club of Demerara, Patrick de Groot, noted that this program serves mainly to provide children with surgeries for heart conditions. He said that doctors must identify the problem of the child, and a notification is then sent to the Rotary Club, and if the case is operable, a date is then set for the surgery.
All it has to do is the doctors here have to identify the problem that the child has, let us know, do an ECG, and we send that to the US. And once they think the case is operable, they will let us know, set a date for the surgery, and then we just get a visa for the child to go to the US.
De Groot noted that the program helps over 1,000 children every year. The program also exists in countries such as El Salvador, Jamaica, Haiti, and Uganda. The first child was sent in the year 2005 from Guyana. So far, approximately 5 children have already been sent and successfully completed surgeries. The CEO of the Georgetown Public Hospital Corporation said that the Ministry of Health, through the GPHC, has sent a total of 11 children to Central America. He also stated that this program can be used to increase the capacity of children receiving medical assistance.
Only last month, the Ministry of Health, through the GPHC, had sent 11 children to Central America, and they were below the age that Mr. de Groot had mentioned. They are not 18 or so. I think they were below the ages of 10. Unfortunately, one of them was so critical, she did not make it. And we plan to have another group going out to 10, but we will use this Gift of Life program to increase our capacity to send more people.
Additionally to this, 8 wheelchairs were handed over to the GPHC from the Rotary Club of Demerara. The billboard was unveiled by Jacqueline James, Judicial's marketing manager, one of the major sponsors of the program, and the vice president of the Rotary Club of Demerara. The Evening News, Leroy Bedlow.
The family of a missing 13-year-old is pleading for her safe return after leaving to go to an internet cafe and not returning home since Monday evening. Gabrielle Patram reports.
13-year-old Maria Lana Ashby has been missing since Monday evening, according to her mother Colleen Johnson and aunt Rochelle Johnson. The distressed mother, speaking with the Evening News, said that her daughter resides with her aunt who lives at 42 Prince William Street, Pleasance, and left the home on Monday night under the pretense that she was going to the internet cafe. The teen has not returned home since then. The mother said that her sister called her late Monday evening and related to her what had happened, and she tried to travel to Georgetown to find her daughter.
At first I met her uncle at the park and both of us went to welfare and we tell the welfare what happened, and so on they advised us to go and make a report to Breakdown police station. We went there and made a report. On my way to the Breakdown station I got a phone call like 18 minutes after 10. And it was Myra on the phone. I answered the phone, she said, Mommy, I said, yes. And we start talking. Try to ask her, where are you, why you have to do what you do, and this kind of thing. And she told me not to worry about her, how she's okay where she is. And don't try looking for her and this kind of thing. And I still went after I said, okay, I won't do it. And I still went after stop that. I still went and I lodged a report at the Breakdown police station.
And their response to your report
was they said that okay at first I tell them that if permission can be granted from them, right, to the network GT&T and Judicial, because uncle went and find out before it is possible that the call can trace, and the network say yes it could, providing that the permission from the police. And then when I tell them that, they say it's gonna take a time, but these things take time. It can happen, but it can take a time. You have to wait and and that's how they have me from Monday. Today is Friday, and I still waiting from Ivlery to Britnam, and yesterday I worked Britnam whole day. Me, my daughter in Britnam.
However, Maria has not called for 2 days. The 13-year-old attends South Rumvalt Secondary School. When asked if there were any problems at home or school, the mother replied and stated that just like any family would have problems, we would have problems.
Myra, wherever you are at this moment, You know, I'm just begging you and appealing to you, and even the person or persons who are involved in this, who just try to keep you away from me. I'm just appealing to you guys, please, you know, release my daughter. Let her come back to me. I love her. Doesn't matter what she has done wrong. I still love her. I want her back too. And also, I'd like to appeal to the general public. Yeah, please look out. Have an eye on anyone see her or know her whereabouts. If you can contact me on my cell phone number, it's 618-0600, or you can call her on number 666-2727, or just contact the nearest police station as early as possible.
The tearful mother said that she loves her daughter very much and sent her to Tongue so that she can attain a good education, which could open up other opportunities for her in life. For the evening news, I'm Gabriela Patram.
Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandalal has announced that President Donald Ramotar has issued the puisne judges maximum order 2014, increasing the number of puisne judges to 20. The Attorney General in a release said the order was issued on February 3 and was made pursuant to Section 3 of the High Court Act. It was duly published on February 8 in the official gazette. According to Nandlal, the decision to increase the complement of puisne judges was made after the due consultation with the judiciary. It is yet another demonstration of the executive's commitment to adequately resourcing the judiciary and supporting its institutional strengthening in order to ensure that in the end justice is delivered to the people efficiently, competently, and with dispatch. He said that it is the administration's hope that this new measure will assist in bringing much needed clarity to the rate at which cases are heard and determined in the judicial system. From all indications, it appears that the current complement of puisne judges is wholly inadequate to meet the volume of litigation engaging the justice system. A new beverage dubbed West Indies Vodka Cooler was launched last evening at the Gravity Lounge. Jomo Paul joins us with the details.
West Indies Vodka Cooler, a new beverage which is brewed and bottled in Guyana by the CARICOM Bottling Company, was launched last evening at the Gravity Lounge. The vodka boasts 6 exciting flavors, including coconut and mango. While referring to the new beverage as a cocktail in a bottle, Chairman of the CARICOM Bottling Inc. had this to say.
The whole concept was to democratize the craft cocktail while still paying respect to the actual craft itself. So, in so doing, we set about to masterfully blend the infusions of hard liquor with flavors to give us that unique blend of a cocktail that we can enjoy at a convenience.
A rep of the Tourism Ministry, Tamika Sugdio, lauded the manufacturers for their work. She explained that the relatively new company would bring some much-needed competition to the beverage industry in Guyana.
This product will offer our consumers more choices on the local beverage market. The Ministry welcomes the competition in any market because our consumers are always the ones who benefit in the long run. West Indies Vodka Cooler has passed its food and drug testing and has received the quality assurance for consumption. The Ministry is very pleased about this new investment and expansion of our local beverage market and a significant capital injection into our economy.
The beverage will be available in supermarkets and beverage wholesalers in just a few days. Reporting for the evening news, I am Jomo Paul.
Persons were seen doing their last-minute shopping as they get ready to celebrate Mashramani 2014 tomorrow. Gabriel Patram reports.
Downtown Georgetown was very busy today as persons were seen doing last-minute shopping for Mashramani 2014, which will be observed tomorrow. Stores and malls along Regent Street saw mothers, children, and young people looking for final touches to their costumes or for their Mashramani outfits, while other persons were seen shopping for umbrellas, hats, and food items so as to prepare for their picnics.
Tomorrow's a wonderful day for me. I'm clean and sober. And I'm very happy.
So you're shopping. What are you shopping for today?
What I'm shopping? Clothes.
Clothes?
For go upon the mash tomorrow.
Okay. For?
I'm shopping for my mother bought me a boots, pink boots.
Pink boots?
Yes.
So where's that pink boots going with?
My clothes, my...
A pink top or pink pants?
Yes.
Meanwhile, some of the most popular items that were being asked for were...
Most of the customers that we find have been looking for footwear, comfortable footwear, which we carry a lot of, different colors, different patterns. So we find that that's what they've been looking for a lot. And clothing on the first floor, those are our top sellers. And we have, hats, things that protect them from the sun and make them look good at the same time.
Guyana will be celebrating 44 years as a republic on Sunday with its annual Mashramani costume and float parade. For the evening news, I'm Gabriela Patram.
Join us after these messages for your sport news.
With MoneyGram, you can transfer cash to over 196 countries across the globe within minutes.
And with low fees.
MoneyGram, bringing you closer.
For more information, please call NM Services Limited on telephone number 225-9129.
Refreshing to cool those really hot days. Invigorating. Look how his face glows every time he shaves. The clean, fresh scent throughout the house every time you open the bottle. Limacol, part of our family for generations. Limacol, un goût de fraîcheur dans cette bouteille.
Introducing SurePay, the convenient way to pay your bills. SurePay is an electronic bill payment service that takes the hassle out of bill payments. Your payments are up to date the same day at the utility companies, so you will not be disconnected if you pay on the due date.
Wow, this is so fast. I can get to do my grocery shopping and get back to work on time. Excellent service. Thank you.
Contact our support center on telephone number 225-9129 for more information. SurePay, the convenient way to pay your bills.
Welcome back, and now for a look at sport. In your headlines, Gale to miss ODI against Ireland, multi-million-dollar resource centre commissioned, and Marlon Williams win RNR 35 lap race. Our sportscast comes to you with the kind compliments of Macorp.
We believe that everything worth building should be built just once. And that is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer. Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. Macorp, let's build Guyana together.
And now for the news in detail. Christopher Gale will miss the lone one-day international between the West Indies and Ireland at Sabina Park tomorrow. The 34-year-old, who just returned from a lengthy absence due to a hamstring injury, was left out of the second and final T20 against the Irish on Friday after he complained of stiffness in his lower back. West Indies T20 captain Darren Sammy said. The Jamaica Observer also understands that a powerfully built player also reported stiffness in his hamstring, and all precautionary measures will be taken ahead of the T20 World Cup in Bangladesh, which begins next month. With the aim of providing a central location where athletes and administrators alike can be edified on the intricacies of their respective disciplines, the multi-million-dollar National Sports Resource Centre was commissioned on Friday afternoon by Sports Minister Dr. Frank Anthony. Avinash Ramzan attended the opening and filed this report.
Located in the compound of the National Racket Centre on Wolford Avenue opposite the Government Technical Institute, the two-story building houses a library, a set of computers and a conference room that caters for 75 persons. Delivering feature remarks at the opening ceremony on Friday, Dr. Anthony said that since there is an educational component to sport, quote, we have to provide training opportunities for persons who in turn can train others, end quote. It is against this background that courses will be offered at the Resource Centre, while lectures will be delivered and research be conducted.
We are looking at how do we
certified people in Guyana as coaches. And the National Sports Commission would be working on presenting some standards, perhaps developing a coaches' council, so that every year people must apply to this council to get certified.
Dr. Anthony said the conference room will be made available to all the national associations at a minimal cost. The issue of doping, he said, will also be addressed through several avenues, while a setting up of a sport medicine association to help athletes and officials through injuries would be established soon.
From here, from this resource center, our intention is that in a couple of years, we'll move from being just a resource center to one where we can become like a sports institute. We don't necessarily have to be housed here, because I'm anticipating that in a couple of years' time, we should outgrow the capacity that we have here. And so we'll need to have a new home for a sports institute. But the dream, the aspiration, is to work towards getting to a sports institute where we can then offer full-time courses to people in the area of sport.
Director of Sport Neil Kumar said the commissioning of the facility is the beginning of a new era for sport in Guyana. He said the construction of such a facility was a vision of Dr. Anthony that would help the country to advance to the highest level in sport.
The stage has been set for Guyana athletes, coaches and officials. The development of sports in Guyana needs a national sports resource center. The completion of Guyana's first sports resource center is a vision of the Honorable Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport, Dr. Frank Anthony, and the facility for our athletes and officials to advance to the highest level. Our sportsmen and sportswomen must be exposed to career guidance.
The ceremony was attended by several distinguished Guyanese, including Professor Clem Sicharan, Dr. Ian MacDonald, Dr. Rupert Rupnarain, Dr. Tota Mangar, Alfred King, and representatives of several associations, boards, and federations. Immediately after the commissioning ceremony, Professor Sicharan delivered the first lecture in the conference room, titled The History and Development of Guyana and West Indies Cricket, 1890 to 1960.
South Africa compiled a lead of 369 by stumps on day 3 of the second test against Australia, with Hashim Amla eyeing 100 after Australia fell for 246 in response to South Africa's first innings 423. The home team progressed to 192 for 4, with Amla unbeaten on 93. Mitchell Johnson and Peter Siddle have so far taken 2 wickets each for Australia, who lead the series 1-0. The experienced Marlon Fishy William powered his way to an exciting win over rival Olanza Greaves to win the 23rd annual R&R International sponsored pre-Mashramani 11-race cycling performance program at the inner circuit of the National Park on Saturday. Rajiv Bisnaut reports.
Competing in a feature race, Williams edged Greaves in a heated battle to the finish line with a winning time of 1 hour, 90 minutes and 10 seconds. Hansman Eastman ended third, while Reynard Jeffrey, Alonso Ambrose and Paulie Nobrigo rounded off the top 6 in that order. Greaves carted off 4 of the 8 prime prizes on offer, while Eastman won 2 with Jeffrey and Williams 1 each. Earlier in the program, which was organized by national cycling coach Hassan Mohammed, Sherwin Sampson rode away with both the BMX boys 6-9 and 9-12 events. In the BMX boys 12-14 category, Stefan Wilkerson took the top position, while Adrian Sharma won the BMX 12-14 open event. Jamal John comped the 12-14 boys and girls race. In the veterans under 50 category, Ralph Williams took the top podium finish, while Lyndon Blackman won the over 50 category. Maurice Fernandez rode away with the veterans over 60 category, while Raw Leal took the top position in the juveniles 10-lap event. Nigel Jacobs carted off the mountain bike race along with the prize. Meanwhile, riders will be in action again on Sunday morning from 8 hours from the Linden-Suzaik Highway to Homestretch Avenue.
The Kennard Memorial Turf Club will commence its season with a Pagwa horse race meet on March 23 at the club's track at Bushlot Farm, Quarantine. 7 races are slated for the day, and as usual, there will be lots of excitement for turf fights and big prize monies for top horse owners. The feature attraction will be the A and lower class over a distance of 6 furlongs. The top prize is $1 million, while the second place finisher will receive half of that amount. The deadline for registration is March 16. Join us after these messages for your Brit Reports.
We believe that everything worth building should be built just once. That is why we build on culture, on trust, on integrity. We exist to do more, better, faster, safer. Your success depends on the foundation it's built on. Everything we do is meant to move you forward. Mark on. Let's build Guyana together.
Welcome back. Before your Brit Reports, remember you can read about these and other stories aired in tonight's newscast in Sunday's edition of the Ghana Times newspaper, which can be purchased from vendors across the country. And now for a look at your Brit Reports. The Denmark Harbour Bridge will be closed on Sunday, February 23 at 11 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. And the Berbice River Bridge will be closed on Sunday, February 23 at 10 hours 20 for a period of 1.5 hours. That's your Saturday, February 22, 2014 edition of the Evening News. I'm Samuel Suknandan. Thanks for joining us.